이제 토론 시간을 갖도록 하겠습니다. 토론은 한국의 김은경 서울디지털대학교
Now we will have a
교수님께서
panel discussion, and it will be done with the Professor Eun Kyong Kim.
Division of Living Culture, Seoul Digital University, South Korea, will hold the discussion together.
네, 안녕하십니까. 서울디지털대학교.
Good afternoon. My name is Kim Eun-kyung from Division of Living Culture, Seoul Digital University. NFT is a hot potato, and everyone is interested in. And I got to learn how important intellectual property is regarding NFT. And thanks to your presentation, thanks again. I would like to ask two questions to you. You mentioned,
NFT 소유권과 원본
and it seems that NFT ownership and the copyright of the original copies are the biggest issues in terms of digital ethics, and I agree with that.
윤리 차원에서
So in terms of design ethics,
저작권 보호에 대한
maybe we have to think of some protection of the original creator's right, and I would like to hear what your take on is.
민 과정이라고 하잖아요.
And we call it NFT minting.
저작권 문제를
And to minimize the copyright issue, I believe that there should be some strengthened and more systematic authentication process. And you also mentioned that during your presentation.
이 세미나이다 보니
And because we are gathered at the conference on design ethics,
하기 위한 어떤 선제적으로
what are some preemptive trainings and educations that universities can conduct? Thank you for wonderful questions. As mentioned by Professor Kim, without any consent from the original creator, the biggest issue is that ownership and copyright. So as mentioned before, on the platform, we need more aggressive resolutions. But platforms have some limits. So in terms of platform management, before you upload some artwork, at least we should be able to provide the information about the consent, and it should be obliged by these platforms that upload the artwork. But no one has taken the lead yet, because there must be some responsibilities. So I would say it's voluntarily recommended, but in fact nobody is doing it. So maybe the authorities have to provide some levels of guidelines. Then, according to the guidelines, those who are involved in design education or actual designing, they can have some ideas of creating some artwork and follow the guidelines to have some transactions. But however, the problem is we do not have the guidelines to follow. And still we have that issue of achieving consent, and I don't think we can think of any more training regarding that.
또한 그 NFT 기술을 접목해서 가상 세계
Well, there have been more
영향력을 펼쳐가는 명품 패션
luxury brands using NFT technologies that have a big influence on the virtual world.
창작자에게 소유권이
However, I'm concerned that this trend may increase the creation and ownership of more counterfeit by misusing the fact that art pieces' ownership belong to the creator, and it is impossible to delete the art pieces once it's uploaded. So once again, the issue here is that it's impossible to delete the art pieces, and I'm sure that is why we see more counterfeit. So I wonder whether there is any preparation or response to the market by brands or designers to protect their own intellectual properties. Yes.
플랫폼 측에서는 못하고요.
Platforms cannot delete
스스로 하지
these
않으면
art pieces
되기가 힘든 상황.
unless these individuals are willing to delete the artwork.
이뭐 외부의 사법기관을 통해서 그걸 해결하기
So,
만만치가 않아요.
however, it's also not impossible.
그래서 그때그때마다
It is impossible
법원
for authorities to get involved.
빠르게
Prosecutor's office
제가 개인적으로
is the same. So
일종의 이제 대비책은
maybe some sort of alternatives could be NFT platforms can have a voluntary monitoring committee, I will say. And if they find any possible problems, they can swiftly respond to that. And we have a similar organizations for the journalism and the media. And we have arbitrary organizations in the field of media. So these platforms can at least have some sort of self-committee to efficiently and effectively respond to these counterfeit issue, and that way we can also elevate some spirit of ethics. Otherwise, it has to be all voluntary. Thank you for your answer.
이재균 교수님 감사합니다.
Thank you, Professor Lee, for your discussion.